All right, can everybody hear me? Hopefully so. Um, all right. If you can hear me, say something in the general chat. Thank you so much. It's truly an honor to be here tonight at this press conference, talking to the press here tonight at the White House. Um, okay, talking to the press here at the White House. It's had a great meeting with the president, along with the great Senator Tyrone Johnson here in the Oval Office, and we just wrapped that meeting up here with the president. We talked about a few things here, and it was pretty simple. Everyone saw my big statement last night regarding the president of the United States and his conduct at the Senate committee, and also the way that he responded to it. And as I said last night, I want to thank the president for his apology and all that good stuff. I love that. However, it's really sad that the president has not been very authentic, and I kind of expressed that concern to the president tonight here in the Oval Office, or I keep saying tonight, but this evening here in the Oval Office. So I was able to talk to the president about those issues, and we was able to discuss that a little bit. Look, the president seemed to be trying to get back on the right track. I told the president that a lot of us Republicans fought for him to get in office. And that's down like this. Um, it's very sad. And so we kind of talked about that. We talked about his administration, and quite frankly, besides the president, I'm taking him out this for a second. It seems like this entire administration is a little bit of a joke. It seems like we have cabinet secretaries, or I'm not even going to put it like that. We have people in this administration who are more concerned about sleeping together than they are with coming to our committee. We have people trying to make each other feel better, propping them up on Twitter instead of being able to come to the committee and testify. We have people in this administration who are so worried about their doing businesses that they go there and they take care of their business, but they can't take care of the real business, which is their job responsibilities as a cabinet secretary. And then they get upset when senators and members of Congress call on them to come to committees and ask them questions. Can't get so upset about stuff like that when you're literally refusing to do your job. And that's what I kind of saw today after talking to the president. And so I don't put all the blame on the president for some of these things, but I do definitely hold him accountable for because at the end of the day, he is the leader. The vice president testified and said that the president has not held one cabinet meeting. I don't know if that's a president's wrongdoings or if that's the cabinet secretary wrongdoings, but those cabinet meetings should be happening. There's no communication in the White House. I really don't know what's going on here, people. I don't know. One called me and they said, Senator, are you all gonna be launching an impeachment? And I said, well, I don't know if the House is gonna do that or not. But if it gets to the Senate, we will definitely put it on the floor. We will definitely listen to what the impeachment managers have to say. But once again, the president's innocent to proven guilty. In this case, you can argue there's already enough evidence to prove him guilty or whatever we want to impeach him with. But I am not calling for impeachment tonight. I'm not calling for impeachment. What I am calling for is accountability. I am calling for accountability, and I'm asking for the president to continue to please be responsible for his actions. We learned this in elementary school, and I'm just asking for the president to please take responsibility for things that are going wrong in his administration, because this country is a thing that we were all fighting for in the last election cycle. Went out there on the campaign trail and campaigned for Mr. Roberts. We said that he was the man for the job, and he's not holding up to that bargain. And so, with all due respect to everybody, and to everybody who want to sit here and say, basically what we saw yesterday, I'm just going to say how it is. Basically, the way that we saw the committee yesterday was everyone wanted to save face. That's what it was. I made it clear last night on Twitter, and I made it clear a few weeks ago at a rally. I'm tired of this politically correct stuff. We're not doing that mess anymore. We had a so let's be clear what happened. Yesterday, everyone wanted to save face, because if they really had an issue with what was going on in the White House, why did you have to wait until you had a big audience to come to a committee and then speak out against the president, when you had every other day that you could have came out and said whatever you want to say about the president, but you waited until there was a big audience that you can get some applause from to come and testify. That's an issue, and if you don't see that's an issue, we must have not been listening to the same committee hearing yesterday. The press secretary, quite frankly, was full of shit. The VP yesterday, I love our VP. He's a great man, but I wish he could have said some of that stuff a little earlier. The Attorney General, I will say he held his ground. He did a pretty good job yesterday at the committee, and I appreciate him for that. And then, of course, our Secretary of Defense, which, by the way, was treated so. As I said yesterday, he is a veteran, and we're going to stand up for the men and women who have sacrificed everything for our freedom. And so I stood up for him yesterday, and I will continue to stand up for Secretary of Defense. He did a great job yesterday. But we also saw something else happen to the Secretary of Defense. Just our members, outside of just one of our members on the committee attacking him, we had someone who literally, physically attacked the Secretary of Defense. I don't know what's going on in Washington, people, but maybe it's true these people are doing crack or doing drugs or something. Because I never thought in a million years that we would be sitting here in a committee hearing where people are acting like children. It never gets to the point, we should never get to the point as members of Congress where we have to physically attack people. I disagree with some of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle a lot, trust me. But me and the minority leader are pretty good friends. I disagree, but I would never get up in the middle of a Senate session and go over there and punch him in the face. Never would do that. I disagree with some of my colleagues on my side of the aisle because I happen to be a little bit more moderate than some of my other friends. And that's okay. We agree to disagree. And I'm not saying that we should compromise on these things, but I am saying we should be able to be responsible enough to not get up and go punch someone. So everything that happened yesterday in the committee, it needed to happen because it's waking America up. It's showing America the type of people that we're sending into Washington, D.C. And I agree with Senator McCormick on some things yesterday. And by the way, we disagree on a lot, but I do agree with Senator McCormick on a few things here. Much that we need to have oversight against this administration because this administration is clearly not what we thought it would be. It's clearly not what we thought it was going to be. And so I'm not calling on the president to resign. I'm not calling on him to be impeached, but I am calling on him, please, for the sake of this country, don't run for re-election. For the sake of this country, do not run for re-election. But I also said a few weeks ago, recycle Washington's trash. And so my fear is that if Jim Roberts does get impeached, we're going to keep the line. And the same old people will become president again, people. We don't need that nonsense. So basically, we're kind of, and excuse my French, we're kind of fucked. This is the worst case scenario that we possibly could have had. This is a mess. It is chaos, and I'm just calling it as it is. I'm a Republican. I've been a Republican for all my life. I voted Republican up and down the ballot all my life, and I voted for Jim Roberts. So this thing with Jim Roberts is nothing personal, but for the sake of our country, something has to give here. And if he's not going to stop what he's doing, is because he's trying to be like someone else, then maybe it is time for him to resign. Maybe it is time for him to be impeached. But then, like I said, that goes down to the next person. If it ends up getting so far down that we get to his cabinet secretaries who are going to be president, we're better off with Jim Roberts. His cabinet is incompetent. This is exactly why I told the president a while ago that we did not need to pass those nominees without a committee hearing. But we were told, you know what, these are good people, and I vetted them, and clearly the White House did not vet the cabinet. That's clear. I don't know who these people are. It's like the president went out to the homeless shelter and grabbed a bunch of people and brought them into his cabinet and said, hey, you want? And now they're just sitting on their ass. That's kind of what's going on. So with that being said, look, the bottom line is there's chaos here in the White House. I do not think the president is competent to be president, but I do think that he is the most competent out of everyone in his administration, maybe besides the vice president. The vice president does not want the presidency. So with that being said, I love Jim Roberts. I think he's a great man. I think we should pray for him for the sake of our country, but also for the sake of our country, we have to speak the truth. And the truth is, he's not. He's one of the worst Republican presidents we ever had. With that being said, I'll take questions if we have any. here tonight before I go to the Senate business. If you have a question, raise your hand. I'm not sure if it lets you raise your hand, but if we don't have any questions, that's good too. I don't think we have any, so I'll continue with this part right here. So tonight, oh, we do have some raising their hand. Let's bring Drake Norton up. All right, hello, Mr. Norton. How you doing? I can't. Oh, you're muted.
Oh, my bad. I was muted. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Norton.
All right, awesome. My question is, will you be running for president?
Well, you see, Mr. Norton, uh, I run the United States Senate, and the Senate majority, that's really my main priority right now. Priority is to get Republican conservative legislation passed before the end of this Congress. It's also to work with the Democrats to make sure that we can find a common ground to pass things for the American people. And you see, when I go home to Georgia, they don't ask me anything about the White House or anything about the presidency because quite frankly, the most important house in America is your house. And so they're asking me, well, what can I do in the people's house, which is in the Senate? They're asking me what can I do in the Senate to better help them, and that's what I'm kind of focused on. I'm focused on representing my constituents, and I'm focused on running the United States Senate. Have not given the presidency any thought. Been there, done that. Haven't given it any thought right now.
Yeah, thank you. Stay blessed.
Thank you, Mr. Norton, for your question. Uh, Anyone else has any questions? All right, I'm gonna say this right quick. I'm gonna bring you up here, Jim. But let me just finish this one thought. I'm gonna bring you up. I'm gonna finish this off. So tonight in the Senate, I'm about to get ready to go back there in a second because we do have a session tonight. We also have a Senate Judiciary hearing that's happening tonight. So tonight in the Senate, by the way, we're only having a pro forma, but we're getting ready this week to bring up um, three hot topics, I would say. We have like three different constitutional amendments, which is very historic here. One of them is like to ban abortion all across this nation. Another one is about banning gay marriage. And before y'all jump on me, I'm going to tell you how the Senate Republicans are standing on that. And also, there's another one, I have to go find it. Banning gay marriage, banning abortion, and then the recall thing. Um, Santino, remind me if there's another one if I'm missing one. Abortion, same sex marriage, the recall. Am I missing anything? Because I feel like I am. All right, that's it. All right. Well, so of course I support the recall thing. I kind of called for that a long time ago. I believe that you'd see there's only a few people in America that doesn't have any oversight. And one of those people are actually the United States Congress, which you can argue there is oversight with elections, but when you have rich afford to spend all this money to keep winning and kind of shut out their opponents, there is no oversight. And then also when you have best friends who are in Congress who refuse to expel someone who needs to be expelled, then we have to get down to this. And so we're now calling on recalls because I believe that we should have oversight in the Senate. There's only a few people who don't. That's the Congress and DAs. And senators get a full 6 months, 6 year term, and we need to have some oversight on that. So we're going to try to do that. We're going to try to handle that here. Also, with the abortion thing, look, that's going to be a hot topic. We're going to debate on that issue, and I think some Republicans will disagree with Democrats, but you're also going to have some Republicans who are going to agree with Democrats. That's going to be a big one, but we're going to save that one for a little later. And then the same-sex marriage thing. Look at it. Going to be a big deal, but the whip is going to be having his own statement about how the Republicans will be voting on that. So I'll save that for that date. I just want to let everybody know that those are three of the things that we're going to be voting on tonight or this week. And then lastly, of course, we're going to try to pass the budget, but just in case people don't know, we have like 4 days to pass this budget. And if the budget isn't passed, the government is shut down. And by the way, there has not been a new budget proposed. So odds are the government will shut down. Go ahead, Mr. Roberts.
Well, good morning. This is actually Richard Cockelman from NewsNation. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Great to see you.
Great, 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 grand and wonderful. So there has been a recent speculation that if there were impeachment inquiries that were passed from the United States House of Representatives and United States Senate, would you put that impeachment inquiry on the agenda?
Yes, I just addressed that about 10 minutes ago. He probably wasn't listening, but I said I would put that on the floor to allow for us to listen to the impeachment managers. In that case, yes, to have like a jury and all that good stuff, and be able to listen to the impeachment managers and see if they have any good evidence. And as I said earlier, some would argue that the evidence is already there and we've already seen it, whatever the case may be. But I definitely would listen to the impeachment managers. I mean, it would be unprecedented to not put the impeachment articles on the agenda and allow for them to come and talk to us or give their arguments about this. I don't want to be an outside of this. In real life, they had this type of. I don't want to be like that at all. I want to make sure that we are being fair and just. But as I said, the president is innocent until proven guilty. So they can come to the Senate and try to pass it, but the odds are I'll let the senators decide that.
Okay.
Vote on it. We have to hear from the impeachment managers. If there's no impeachment managers, because we've had that before here, where there's no impeachment managers, we just go into a vote. We won't do that. That won't happen. But if impeachment managers agree to come to the Senate and actually argue their case, and yeah, that will go forward.
Wonderful, wonderful. So a colleague who is standing right next to me has actually asked me a question, and I just want to reiterate what they have asked me to you. This is on behalf of Democracy at Work, Emily Whitehall. Do you, the majority leader, have a statement on the incidents of assault threats and other issues that have taken place in the committee hearing last night?
Look, like I just said, listen, violence. Look, they tell you this in elementary school. Violence is never the answer, kids. It's never the answer. I truly believe that. I taught my children that. But in all seriousness, no, I think that the assault that happened yesterday to a veteran, the Secretary of Defense, that was disgraceful. But honestly, I don't. I expect nothing less, nothing more from that senator. To be honest, I mean, this is what these people do. But it was wrong, and that won't be tolerated in the Senate. Like I said, you can agree to disagree without getting violent. I disagree with a lot of things that people say, Democrats and stuff, and they disagree with a lot of things that I say. But we don't have to get on the Senate floor and start boxing it out. Hell, we don't even have to get on the Senate floor and start cursing each other out. We don't do any of that. This is the upper chamber. People have enough chaos in life already. Okay? There's enough going on in their household. The last thing this thing worse. That's the last thing we need. So no, that will not be tolerated in this chamber. Go ahead, ask your other question.
Okay. I've got two more, so just bear with me here. So what is your yesterday the Attorney General actually released a statement in regards that he's going to be investigating the administration, the incidents that happened yesterday, and those people. So what is kind of your stance on that, and do you believe that the Attorney General is fully justified to investigate the matters at hand that occurred yesterday?
I believe that the Attorney General, yes, is fully justified. I will not give. I just gave a bunch of comments about this. Happened yesterday was wrong, but the Attorney General, I'm happy he's doing his job. Somebody's doing their job. Somebody is doing their job, and that's enough for me. I think that he may overuse it and may overstep. We'll see. I've known the Attorney General for a long time. He's a good guy. I think he'll make the right decision. But I think he's doing the right thing. I think he's doing it out of good heart. And the investigation. Let the investigation go through, and if no one did anything wrong, there's nothing to be worried about. That's what I say to investigations.
All right, and this is my very last question, and this is on behalf of the Washington Post here. Would you support a possible Republican run from Speaker of the House Santino Keating or former President William Northam?
If he were to run for president, heck yeah, I'll support him. Yes. Let me put it like this, actually. First of all, I don't think he would run for president. I don't think he wants to run for president. But if he were to, he'd probably be at the top of my list. Yeah,
Which one are you
probably.
talking
But I
about?
think he
Northam or Keaton?
San, Santino Keaton. Santino Keaton.
Gotcha.
As for Northam, he was president before. And I said earlier, I mean, I'm okay with people being president more than once, obviously for more than one term, but not this soon. He just got out of office. Give America some time to see some new faces, and then we can go back to having some of those. Like for example, Hakeem Michaels was president before. I wouldn't mind seeing him come back and do a second term because we've had some time to see what other people could bring to the table. That's what we need. We need new faces to be able to come here and do stuff like that. But when you have people like, and I'm just using examples, I'm not attacking anyone, but for example, former President Russ Hams, we saw him run for president about 3 times, and people got tired of. And so what ended up happening? He ended up kept losing elections. I mean, he was losing congressional elections. He was losing all type of elections because people were getting sick of him. I think America, they get fatigued with that type of stuff. So I would support Keating before I supported William.
All right. Thank you very much, Majority Leader.
All right, thank you. All right, any more questions, people? Any more questions? Going once, going twice. All right. Thank you all once again for coming out and listening to this. Look, here's the thing, people. Hunker down. Hunker down. We've had a few more months until the people have their say in this administration. I gave my opinion. You have to get your own opinion. Don't go off what I say. Go off what you see. Because what you see is the truth. Your eyes are not deceiving you. The thing that you saw at the committee yesterday, the things that you heard from the people on the committee yesterday, believe them. Believe them. I think that I know for a fact they're telling the truth. And I know for a fact that the president's exactly who he seems to be. And as much as he shows that he does not care, he doesn't. That's the truth. All right, people. Thank you so much. It's truly great to be here. I hope to see everybody at the Senate. God bless everybody.